Okay, so I think we are good to start the session. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, faculties. Screen is visible, right? Okay. Okay, so we were discussing pure React way of creating React application, and we saw how we can write hello world, right? But let's do some let's extend a bit, right? And now what I want to display time. Remember I took this example of state where I mentioned that time is going to change every second, right? And whatever data that is going to change the UI, right? Whatever data that is going to update in the UI, right? So that data we call it as state. Okay, so Uh, to put it simply, what I want to do, I want to display time. Okay, hour, minute, and second, right? So the time is data, right? Time is nothing but data that I want to display, right? And this data is going to change every second, right? So the data that is going to change, right? That data is called as UI. Okay, now that we know that we update the data, we update the state, and React takes care of updating the UI. We don't write DOM manipulations ourselves. Okay, we do have a bit limited time, otherwise I would have shown you that how a React application is built, how an application is built React way, and the same application is built with pure JavaScript this way. Right, so due to time constraint we cannot write both way, right? But the point here is we don't manipulate DOM, we don't update DOM here, right? React does it for us. What we do, we just change the state, right? We just change the state. UI is updated by React. That is what is called as synchronization between data and UI, because based on data UI must change, right? Okay, so I want to display time here, and time is going to be my state because it is going to change if after every 1 second, and that is also reflecting in the UI. So how to write state, right? If I am just writing data, then how I can write? See, now all I will be writing in this function, in this app component only, right? And what this app component is returning, it is returning a React element. So whatever is there, let's keep it as it is, and let's add some more on top of this. So if time was just a data, how should we write time? We should write something like new let time is equal to, then maybe we could write new date, something like this, right? This is also a right syntax. But if we do like this, React does not consider it as a state, and then React cannot handle it in its own way, right? That is why we should not write like this. We should write this new date variable, this particular variable using React way. How React recommends us to write state, this way we can write this particular thing. Okay, so to write state, what we can do, first we write the variable keyword, right? It can be const, it can be let, it can be where. Then in square bracket, we write the name of the variable, name of the data, or I should say name of the state, right? So let's say I want to write time. This is just a variable. You can name it anything, right? Now in this, inside this square bracket, you also write second thing, which is a set time. For example, your state is time, then you write set time. For example, your state is for example, message. So you here write set message. This set word, this set keyword, this particular word is a function, right? This time is a state, and set time is a function to change the state. Remember, I'll keep repeating this again. We update the state. We update the state. React updates the UI. If we are using pure JavaScript, we update the data and we update the DOM. We manipulate the UI. right? But in case of React, we change the state, React updates the UI, right? So to change the state, we have set time function. Okay, again, you name it anything, but we generally write it like this. Okay, and then here, I will be using one hook, React hook. React provides basically so many functions. They are called as hooks. They are all used for different purposes, right? And for our course, we are going to use two types of hooks. One is use state hook and second is use effect hook, right? So first we are introducing use state hook, which is used to declare state, right? So React dot use state. Use state is defined on React. So I am writing React dot use state. Okay. And this argument will be the initial value of your state. That means initial value of your time. So let's say the initial value of my time is current time. So in JavaScript, how you get current time? You get using this date constructor, new date, right? But this date is in milliseconds. Do I want in milliseconds? No, I want actually time, not date, right? Only time. So current hours, current minutes, and current seconds. That is what I want. I don't need this entire milliseconds date, right? So on this, I'll be calling one more method, which is to local time string, which will give just minute, just hour, minute, and second out of this new date, and that too in the readable format, not in milliseconds and all, right? In readable format, DDMMYY, sorry, HSMMSS. In this format, we get this hour, minute, and seconds using this particular function. Okay, you will see it in a bit on the browser as well, right? So now we created the state. This is how we create the state. And if we write like this, then only React will handle this in its own way, right? If you don't do like this, then React cannot do anything. Okay, so we need to follow this in order to make it work like React way, right? This is again promoting approach of declarative. We just declared that React, this is what we want. And now React will take care of this. Okay. So I declared the state, I created the state, right? Now, remember we introduced set timeout function. Now similar kind of function is set interval. Now set interval again takes two arguments. One is a callback function. And what was the second argument in set timeout? Time, right? So here also second argument is time. Let's say 1000 second I'm giving. 1000 millisecond. That means 1 second. Okay. So set interval, what happens here is that what you want to execute after every specified amount of time. So I specified 1 second here. So what you want to execute after every 1 second, right? In set timeout, it runs only once. That means after 1 second, this code should be run. But if you want to run that code after every 1 second, then you can go for set interval method. Okay, so after every 1 second, I want to update my time, right? So after every 1 second, I will basically update the state. Time is nothing but state. And how to update state? Can I write now time is equal to new time? Can I write like this? No, I cannot do like this. Then React cannot handle it in its own way, right? React already has this syntax of set time, right? So to set time, to update time, you must call set time method. Then only React can handle it, right? So I will write set time. Set time is the function, remember? So I'm just calling this function. And what new value you want to give to time? New value will be again the current date, because I'm calculating new date after every 1 second, right? So to local time string. So see here what is happening after every 1 second, time is changing with the current time. Understanding? After every 1 second, I'm changing the time variable. Right? So I'm changing this data. And as this data changes, UI should also change. Right? That is what the main purpose of this activity. When data change, UI also should change. But are we changing UI? No, we are not changing UI. React will change the UI for us. We just change the state. Okay. Now my task is done. Nothing more is left here. And I will return H1 also, H1 only. But instead of hello world, now I will print time here. I don't want to return hello world. I want to print time. I want to display time. My application is ready. Now let's see the output. Let's refresh this. See, our clock is working, but yes, we made one mistake here. Instead of local time string, I wrote to local date string. So let me change it to local time string and see, my clock is ready. And if you observe, every 1 second, the data is changing, the time is changing. Right? Are we updating the time? Are we updating, sorry, are we updating the UI? Of course, we are updating time using set time method. But are we updating UI? No, see, UI is automatically updating after every 1 second. And React is taking care of this. If we write the same application using pure JavaScript, right? If we write same with pure JavaScript, then we need to manually update the DOM. Right? We can write h1.text content is equal to new time and all those things. But now we are free from that lot of work. Right? Understood this? Should I revise it once again? The code once again. Yeah, sure. I can explain the code once again. And date is not a function, it is a constructor. Right? Date is a class. Right? How we create object out of class using constructor, right? So that is what we are doing here. This is an object. Right? We are creating date object, right? So this is a constructor. Understood? And I'll also explain the entire code once again, right? So first I created the state, right? I will repeat again and again because this thing is very important. Synchronization between data and UI is the most important thing, right? I will repeat again. We update the state, React updates the UI. Okay, we updated the state using set time, but see, we are not updating UI. Every second React is updating the UI. Yeah, see here, every second React is updating the UI. We are not. So first we created the state like this. We first write a variable keyword, and inside square bracket we first write the data and we write the setter function for that data. Right? So time and set time. Then we use the use state hook. So we'll write react dot use state, and use state takes the initial value of the state. So the initial value of time, I want to keep it as current time. So that's why I wrote new date to local string. Okay. Now what I want, after every second, I want to update the state. So if you want to do something frequently after every specified amount of time, that time you can use set interval method. Right. So this purpose of activity is not only how we created this clock, but along the way, we will also understand some concepts, right? We understood how we can write state. What is state? We understood how set interval works, right? And we also understood how you can create the React element. Okay. So in set interval, after every 1 second, I am updating the time. So set time I call, and what I will pass the new value of time. And what will be the new value? Current time. Right? After every 1 second, current time will be the new value of time, because after every second, time will obviously going to change. Okay. Understood now? And finally, we returned this React element. This time in H1, I am passing time. Now let's make this UI beautiful, right? Now, obviously, we are not going to write CSS entirely because this is a React session and let's focus just on React, right? So what I did, I already created the CSS. See, I already have this style.css, right? This is optional thing, but still we are doing it. So just basic CSS I wrote, right? This is universal selector, body selector, ID root, H1, and all these properties that you can see. See, I'm using display flex here. All these properties are already familiar to you, but CSS is not the point, right? We must understand this particular thing, React, right? But let me include this CSS also, style.css. So I will link CSS style.css and let me save this and now see the output. See, this is the output, right? So congratulations, our first React application is ready. It's a very nice and small applications, and the whole purpose of this application is to explain you some of the React concepts, and the remaining React concepts we are going to learn with the help of next React application, right? We will not do that. First, we understand the React concept and then we apply it on the project. No, we first start the project and then we first start the small assignment activity and then along the way we'll learn something, right? So your nice little clock application is ready. Okay, any doubts in this or is it clear? React hook is nothing but functions. They are functions for different purposes. For example, use state is for declaring state. There is one more that we are going to use, which is use effect that I will explain you. Right? But hook is nothing but a function, nothing else. Yeah, sure. I can show the CSS code as well. Very small code that I wrote. See, this is the CSS code. Let me know if you find any difficulties understanding this. But again, I will repeat, this is not important. The important thing is understanding React. Okay. Acha, and yes, if you guys are following along with me, then I should share with CSS code with you, right? So I'll just copy this and I will paste it in the chat so that if you are following with me, you can paste the CSS code in the style.css. Okay, I shared this in the chat. Fine. So shall we move ahead now? Shall we go to next application? Let me open the notes.txt and see this activity we did, hello React, and also this activity where we understood components, rendering React component, right? Then creating React elements using react.create element. Then state we understood, we also understood about set interval. So using this very small application, we understood so many things, isn't it? Now, the next two activities are using create React tab. Okay, so whatever we wrote, where is my code? Yes, here only. Whatever we wrote, we are not going to write it like this. Everything will be pre-written now. Everything that I wrote here, everything will be pre-written now. Right? And on top of that, we are going to build something else. Right? I just showed you that how React works behind the scene. Okay, so whatever now we are going to write, eventually that will be converted into these things only. Right? For example, now on instead of react.create element, that means instead of this line, I will write directly h1 and time like this. Right? So React will convert this line into this line. right? So I directly showed you how you can write this line only. Okay, that was the purpose of introducing pure React. Okay, now concept will be same, state concept, set interval, those things will remain constant, right? Okay, so now what is create React app, right? So create React app is nothing but we can say a tool chain of React, right? Remember I told you that React can come with so many libraries. It can support so many libraries. So those libraries and packages, some of the commonly used, of course, not all, right? So some of the commonly used React packages that will come pre-installed with create React app. If we create our React project using create React app, we are going to get so many things. We are going to get JSX support, right? So we'll directly write JSX. We will also get hot module reload support, right? That means whatever changes we make, it will automatically reflect the in the browser, right? Once we save it, we get the changes. These are just two, three that I mentioned, but there are so many packages, right? It has Webpack, it has Babel, so many things it has, right? So let's create our React application using create React app, right? So what we will do, see, I'm in this folder of day 4, right? And here I want to create the new React project, right? And of course, this time we are also installing so many packages. That means now our project size will be increased. Right now we were using pure React, nothing, no external packages, libraries, nothing. But now the size is going to increase. Okay, so what I will do, first I will just close this VS Code, and here in this particular folder day 4, I will open command prompt CMD. Okay, and here I will create the React project. Okay, let me zoom in bit. Yes. So how to create a React application using create React app? The prerequisite is Node.js. Remember we installed Node.js in yesterday's session, right? If you still don't have, please install Node.js first. Otherwise, this will not work, right? Because we are going to use so many NPM packages. And if you install Node.js, NPM comes pre-installed with it. So let me share the link of Node.js again. Node download. You can go with LTS version, right? Long-term support version. Why we are using this? Because we want some NPM packages, right? And NPM command comes pre-installed, pre-built with Node.js, right? And those packages can only run on Node. That's why we need Node here, right? Otherwise, we are not going to learn backend using Node. Just for this purpose, we need Node. What is NPM? Any idea? What is NPM? What is the full form of NPM? Yes, faculties. Anyone knows full form of NPM? Okay, so generally we believe that full form of NPM is Node Package Manager, right? You might have heard about this Node Package Manager, but again, that is not true. The full form of NPM is not Node Package Manager. The full form is NPM, right? So I can write full form for you. Where is my VS Code? Acha, I closed it. Let me, yes. See, full form of NPM is नहीं पता मुझे. I know you are not believing me, but that is true. I can show this on NPM official website. That full form of NPM is nahi pata mujhe. Right? That means I don't know. Let me show you. I know you are not believing. Let me show you. Let's go to NPM official website. Right? So NPM, and let's open NPM. Right? And see here, NPM full form is something else. If I click it again it changed the full form of NPM. If I click again it changed. And if I click it multiple times, I will be on the official GitHub repo page for NPM. Right? And here, let me show you the full form of NPM. Where is it? I think it should be in the expansion. And here, let me try to find nahi pata mujhe. Yes, see on the serial number 16, full form of NPM is nahi pata mujhe. Right? This is an official GitHub repository. It is not something that people like us created. No, this is official repository. Right? So the thing is, this was just for a fun. Also, NPM has done this for fun. The fact is, earlier the full form of NPM was Node Package Manager, right? But after that, NPM started introducing more and more packages, not just based on JavaScript and Node, but based on Java, based on Python, based on other languages as well. Right? So then Node Package Manager was not making any sense because it has more packages apart from Node and JavaScript, right? So after that, NPM removed this full name, full form, Node Package Manager, right? And right now you can see there are so many full form of Node Package Manager. See, the list is 847, right? So that was just a fun fact. Let's get back to this. Okay, so I hope meanwhile you guys downloaded Node.js if not already, and you can install it also. Right now, I will move ahead and yes, on the CMD. Now, if you have Node installed, then it also comes with npm, right? And now we are going to write the command. And the command is npx create react app. I'll also share it in the chat, don't worry. Npx create react app and the name of the application, right? So for example, hello world application. So I will write hello dash world dash app. Okay. Now why npx? Because I just want to install this create react app package. This is just a package, right? I want to use create react app package just for this one project and not globally, right? That is why I wrote npx. But for some reason, let's say this command gives you an error in your system, right? Then what you can try installing create react app package globally in your system. So for that, what you can write npm install -g create react app, right? I'll paste this command in the chat. This command you need to run only if you get error. Only if you get error, then only you should run this command. And the second command that I'm going to paste is what you need to run. Npx create react app and hello world. Hello world app, right? I'm copying this command also. I again repeat, if the second command that I pasted, if you get error in that second command, then try first one. And after doing first one, again write the second command, because second command is actually creating the React project. Okay, fine. So see, I wrote this command. Now I will hit enter. And now it will take some time to create the React project, right? Remember we included React and React DOM. See, it is downloading it. right? So why we use create React app? To avoid manual tasks. So many manual tasks it is avoiding. It is doing everything for us. See, it is downloading those two things as well. React DOM, right? So now we don't need to configure them on our own, right? Create React app takes care of it. Okay. Now coming back to the doubts, GitHub now owns NPM. No, GitHub is just a repository, right? NPM has repository on GitHub. Okay. NPM repository is on GitHub. Okay, fine. So let's wait while it is installing. In my system, it should not take much time because my internet is also good. It depends on two things. One is your system configuration and second is your internet speed. If both are in good condition, then you won't uh, it won't take bit more time. So see, my React app is created and it is saying me happy hacking. Okay. So now I will close this CMD. Okay, I think someone is on unmute. I think by mistake. Let me mute. Now, see in this folder, day 4, can you see Hello World app is created? See this Hello World app folder, this project is created. And can you see the size? Size is 234 MB. Why 234 MB? Because it has so many extra packages. Okay, let's open this. And this is what the folder structure is. Now let's open this in the VS Code. Right? How to open this folder in VS Code? You can shift right click and click on open with code. But if this option does not appear for you, then what you can do? Open VS Code and manually open this folder. Okay. When you install VS Code, then you get 4 checkboxes at the installation time. If you check all 4, then you will get this option. Right? But no worries if you don't get this option. Just go to VS Code, go to open folder. First go to file, then go to open folder and open this folder. Okay. So see my Hello World app is opened in VS Code. And this is the project structure of React looks like. Again, this project structure is a suggestion, right? React has no strict rules. It is just a suggestion. You can modify it. But React developers will generally follow this only. Okay. So let's see what all this means, right? First is node modules folder. Now this folder has all the packages that are installed using with create React app. This public and SRC will see. Before that, this is git ignore file because it also initializes git repository, right? If your system does not have git installed, then no worries. You might get the error of git while you create this project, but ignore that. That is because your system does not have git installed. But today we don't require git. Tomorrow we require git. So tomorrow I will explain you how you can install git. No worries. Today we don't require. So even if you get git error, that is completely fine. Don't worry. Then we have package log.json and package.json. This package.json is important file. See here, all these dependencies are there, which are installed. React is installed, React DOM is installed, React script is installed, Web Vitals is installed. So these are the packages that are installed with create React app, right? But if you open node modules, there are so many packages, but in package.json, there are very less. Why so? Because these packages internally uses some other packages. That is why node modules, you can find more packages. If you open package log.json, here you will find all those packages also that are internally installed. Okay. Then if we go to public folder, there is one file called index.html. Rest files are nothing but favicon and some logo PNGs and all. Ignore them. The main file is index.html. React is what? A single page application, and that single page application is this index.html. This is the single page. I will just remove the comments so that you can clearly see this file. It has nothing but this div in the body with ID root. Remember, we manually created the div with ID root and we attached our application in the pure React lecture. Remember this thing? See, now we are already getting this. I told you that whatever we wrote in the pure React lecture, now we are not going to write at all. Everything will be already be there by create React app. Okay, so I'll close this. But before that, where this React application is attaching in this div, right? Remember, we wrote some method called react dom.create root, then root.render. So where is that code? That code is also already written. We don't need to write it. See, if you go to src and if you go to index.js, see here that code is written. Can you see React? This is the same line that we wrote. Same line. Const root, react dom.create root, then here document.get element by id root. And on this root, we are calling render method. And what we were passing in the render method? App. Here also app is getting passed. But this is the syntax of JSX that I'm going to explain. You don't worry. But the point is, you can see, right? Whatever we were writing manually, everything is pre-written now. All credit goes to create React app. There are other tool chains as well. The popular one is Vite, Vite. Let me type it in the chat. You can explore it. Where is chat box? Here it is. Vite. Right? Vite is also one tool chain of React, which is more popular than Create React app, which is more popular because Create React app is no longer maintained by developers. No one is using Create React app in industry standard projects or in industries, in companies. No one is using Create React app. Vite is the one that is used, right? The reason is Vite is lightweight, right? That means it comes with lesser packages. Here we saw the file size that was 234 MB. But if we create the React app using Vite, the file size will be lesser, right? But the major advantage is Vite is faster. Vite is faster than Create React app. Hot module reload is faster in case of Vite if we compare it with Create React app, right? And also now there will be no more updates on Create React app. The development is stopped. It is finished, right? So it's always a good idea to use Vite. In industries also they use Vite or they go with manual setup, but no one uses Create React app. But still for learning, still today we use Create React app, right? Because so many things is already configured there. So many packages are already installed there. In Vite, you need to manually install it, some packages, right? So for learning, Create React app is the best option, right? But for industries and for companies, they use this Vite or they do the manual setup. Means every packages they install one by one on their own. Okay. So now you got the idea, right? That in index.js, those stuff is written, create root and all. Okay. Now I'll close the public as well. And now we will work in this src folder only. This is the main folder and this is the most important folder, right? So here you can see there are so many files. So what I will do, I will remove the unnecessary files just to avoid confusion, right? But before that, what I will do, I will run this React application. So I open the terminal. How I open the terminal? Using control backtick. Backtick is below your escape button. Control backtick and terminal is opened. Now I will write npm start. This is how we run React application in the browser. So npm start, hit enter. And see, this is the React application. This is default application. Now we will edit this. We will modify this. This is the base application. Okay. And you should always run your application once you create your project so that you can know that everything is fine. Your React project is successfully created. If there is issue in the creation phase itself, right? So you can come to know earlier. You can come to know this thing initially only. So it's always a good practice to run your React application once you create it. Okay, now I will close this terminal. And now let's delete the unnecessary files. So first is app.css. I don't need this. Let me delete this. Second is app.js that I need. Then third is app test.js. Delete this. Index.css. Delete this. Index.js. We need logo svg. Delete report web vital. Sorry. Second. Yes, Kiran ma'am, I'm coming to that part only. Why app.js and why index.js and index.html. Okay, so let's delete setup test.js also. So we are left with two files, app.js and index.js. Now let's open app.js. Now here, let's remove the unnecessary code. First is importing logo. So we'll remove this because we already deleted this logo file, right? So if we still importing it, that means we are going to get error. So you can get rid of this, right? Second, here also the logo is getting used. You can get rid of this. But what I will do, I will get rid of this entire div, right? And now if we come to index.js, so here also there is this report web vitals import, which is not necessary because we deleted that file. And also these 4 lines, report web vitals, delete everything. Okay. Now let's come to your doubt, Kiran ma'am, that why index.js, what is app.js, and what is its relation with index.html, right? So see, index.html is the page that is going to be rendered on your browser, right? And inside that, we will attach our React application where in the div with ID root, right? And now if we come to index.js, so this is the starting point of our React application. When you run React application, the execution starts from here, from index.js, right? And that is why we are attaching this React application with that div ID root in this particular file in index.js because execution starts from here of React application, right? And now app.js, right? So app.js is the main component. Of course, you can change the name of that component, right? But that is the main component that is going to be displayed on the browser screen, right? And whatever other components that we are going to write, for example, home component, about component, contact us component, all those component you can call in the app only because app is the component that is going to render. See here in this root.render method, which component we are rendering? We are rendering app component, right? So if you have so many components, for example, component 1, component 2, so all these components you can call here. All those components you can call here, right? This is a good practice to use app.js as the main component, but that is not compulsory. Okay, clear now, Kiran ma'am, and others as well? Clear to everyone? Shall we move ahead to print hello world? Okay, cool. So see here, this is what a React component is, function app, which is returning a React element, which is returning what? A piece of UI. So I will write return and then I will write parenthesis. Why parenthesis? Because I want to write multiple lines in the return statement. That is why parenthesis. Otherwise, not necessary. But I just want to write one line for now, and that is hello world. That's it you need to do. Rest everything is taken care by create React app, right? Attaching the application and everything. So now let's see the output. Let me refresh this, and what it is saying, can't resolve app.css in src. Acha, we are importing app.css, but we deleted this file. So let's get rid of this. One more error, index.css. So in index.js, let's remove index.css. And we are getting hello world. Right? So this is one component. For example, if you have multiple components, so how to write multiple components? So in src folder, you can write other components. For example, let's write greet component. So I will write greet.js, and component file should start with capital letter, right? Now I will create the component function greet, and this function returns hello world. Good morning, right? Let's write good afternoon. Yes. Now what we will do, if we see the output, of course, that is not going to be displayed here, right? So what we can do, we will call this component. Component is nothing but a function, right? So I can use this word, call this component into app.js. And how to call the component? Just like HTML element, just like how we write HTML element, right? So this greet is nothing but an HTML element you can consider, every component, right? So you can write greet like this, greet like this. This is possible. This is, you can say, calling the function, calling the component. Okay. Now, this is throwing an error. Why? Because this app.js, this component has no way to identify this greet component. For that, what we need to do, we need to export this function here. We need to export this component from here. Then only you can import it here, right? So to export this, I can write export default and then greet. Now I exported this greet component, and now I can use this in the app component. So to use this, first we need to import that. So I will write import statements we write on top of the file. So on top, I will write import. What do you want to import? I want to import greet. And see, the suggestion will also come. So I will just click on this greet, and my greet component is imported. Import greet from greet. You can also write greet.js here, but it will understand it. So no need to write .js. Now I can use it like this. Okay. And see, I'm returning this h1 hello world. Directly I'm returning HTML element, right? Now this syntax is called as JSX, right? I am calling the component like this. This syntax, this is called as JSX, right? So everything is looking good, but we still get an error. Let me show you the error. See, we still have the error, and the error is adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in a enclosing tag. Did you want a JSX fragment? This is a very nice, meaningful error that we are getting, right? This is also one advantage here, that we get the error in the browser screen, right? And see, here is the error. That means here is the error. And what is this error is, see, we are returning a JSX element. We are returning two JSX element. One is H1 and one is greet. That is not possible. You cannot return two JSX elements together. This is a rule. You cannot do that. Right? So what you can do, let me cut this and let me write a div here. And inside a div, let me write this both. Now I am returning only one JSX element, div. Inside div, there can be any nested elements, but the parent element is only one. This is possible, right? So the rule is from function, you cannot return more than one multiple JSX elements. You cannot return multiple JSX elements. You must wrap it in one parent, in one container, right? So I wrapped it inside div, and now you can see hello world and good afternoon. Okay. Now, see, writing div like this is not a good practice, because if you are also writing CSS styles, then there might be chances that you will, mess up with style sheet, because this is now extra div. This is now extra div. See, if I inspect this and if I show you the HTML, see, yes, see, in this div ID root, remember this div ID root is from index.html. Inside this div is attached. This div is from app component, this one. Browser does not care about React. It does not care about app component, greet component. No, it will only care about what you are returning, the HTML that you are returning. It does not know about app. It does not know about greet. It does not know about anything, right? So see, in this root, my div is attached. That is, my app component is attached, right? If I expand this, you can see H1 and H1, hello world and good afternoon. This is hello world, and this good afternoon is coming from greet, right? You cannot see greet here directly. Again, it has nothing, browser has nothing to do with React. It only understand HTML. So this is that H1 good afternoon. Understanding this? Now see, this div is extra. If we see this div is extra. See this div. Do we need this div? No. Why we used it? Because of JSX rule, right? That it can return only one element, right? So this div is extra. But if you don't want to write any extra divs, because in CSS it may be problematic because of this extra element, right? So what you can use React fragments. And how you can write React fragments without writing anything, just empty angle brackets. This is open and this is closed. Now it will not create any extra element, right? If I show you the proof here, see, this is div ID root, and inside div ID root, you can see direct H1, both the H1. Can you see any extra div now? No. That is why instead of div container, you can go with React fragments. Right? So many things we learn, right? Starting with JSX, some rules of JSX, how to write multiple components, how to call component, and React fragment. I also wanted to start the advice application, but I don't think today we should start it, right? Otherwise, it will be overburden, and also we cannot complete it in the 15 minutes. We only have 20 minutes left. We cannot complete it in 15-20 minutes, right? Attendance is also pending, and I also want to inform about the Outlook credentials, right? So before we move ahead, we'll do something extra, right? Because uh, for next 5 minutes, we'll spend it on attendance and Outlook emails, and the remaining 15 minutes will we have some extra time. So I will explain you the concept of static and dynamic website. What is client-side rendering? What is server-side rendering? Right? Let's not wind up the session early. Instead, let's utilize those 15 minutes, right? So now just give me one moment and I will share the attendance link. Recording of sessions are pending. It is not available in LMS. Okay, okay. Thanks for letting us know, Kiran ma'am. I'll surely check this with the team. Okay, after this session, I'll check this with the team and will update you on the group. Okay, in some time after the session. Now I'll share the attendance link. Just a moment.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Urushna, I'm sharing it right now. Okay, now I shared it. All of you, please fill in the attendance and then let me know. Then I will share one more link, which is for Outlook credential, and I will explain that as well. First, mark your attendance. And while you're marking your attendance, I'll just quickly summarize what all we discussed, right? So we started with Create React app, right? Before that, pure React, but from Create React app, we started with it, we introduced it, and then we understood the project structure. Then we removed all the necessary files. After all necessary files removal, we also removed the unwanted lines in app.js and index.js, right? Then we understood how you can write multiple components and how you can call those functions inside one another, inside each other, right? How you can call them just as we write HTML element, right? And yes, but before that, you must need to export that component, right? Once you export, then only you can import it from somewhere else. Okay. And we also understood some of the JSX rules, right? And one thing is remaining how you can write JavaScript. Also, already I told you that we can write inside curly braces, right? But I will explain it in bit detail in tomorrow's session, right? That how you can write JavaScript inside JSX. Link is not working. Uh, for others also it is not working. Can anyone confirm? Attendance done.
Okay.
Link is not working. Then how, Sumedha ma'am, it is working for you? Okay, for Kiran ma'am and for others also it is working.
Sir,
Just
it's
for
working.
two working, na?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ram Babu sir and Samadhan sir and Rakesh sir, should I share it again? Can you please try it once again? Because link is working for others. Yes, yes, shared it again. And Mahesh sir, regarding recordings, I'll surely check this with the team, right? Immediately after the session, I'll ask our team and it will be resolved within next 2 hours after the session, right? Maximum by 2 hours. I will also update the same on the group. Once it is resolved, I'll mention that it is resolved. Okay. Okay, Ram Babu sir, I'm sharing the link once again. Okay, let's do one thing. For I think for 3, 4 people, link is not working. So let's do one thing. Just write your email in the chat. I will I'll take note of those emails and I will mark your attendance from our end. Okay. So for those 3, 4 faculty members, that link is not working. Please write your email in the chat. Yes, Madhyam, you can also write your email in the chat. And let me also open this link, whether it is working in my system or not. Yes, it is opening in my system. No worries. You can write your emails. Those 4 or 5 faculty members, you can write your emails. Madhyam, you can also write your email. Okay.
Sir,
Let
I have a
me.
doubt.
Yeah, sure, sure. You can ask.
Yeah. Sir, you said that React we can write only a single page.
Yes, yes. No, it is not
Dot
must that
index
we
file.
can write only single page.
Yeah, because maybe in index file, huh? So, but we
Yes.
wrote app.js.
Yes, yes. That is what the use of React is. See, we only have index.html file. We have multiple pages. Single page does not mean there will be only single page. There are multiple pages, right? But what you can do, those those multiple pages like grid, like app, all is part of React. React will take care of this. You just need to navigate between them. You just need to navigate between them. React will not reload the entire page. All the pages will run under single index.html page. Right? If time allows, I will show you routing also in React tomorrow. Okay. Due to very
We are
limited
not
time, we
integrating.
cannot. Yes.
We are not integrating app.js with index.html.
We are integrating. We are integrating. Let me show you. Let me show you. See, we are actually integrating it. Not directly, but via index.js. See here. In index.js, first we created the root. See here, we passed in that index HTML wala root. See document.getElement by ID root. Yes, and on this root, I'm calling render method. And what I'm rendering? App component. See, I'm rendering app component. Right? So from app, everything is single page. Got
Okay,
it
I
now?
think so.
And if we are rendering, uh, we are right now rendering only index.html, right? But there are some cases where you can render multiple HTML files. That time, uh, React app will be attached to only one div with ID root. But the point that I am trying to make is you can use React project for multi-page applications as well. But those multi-page applications are actually multi-pages. Here in React, they are also pages, but they work as a single page. Okay, I
Okay,
hope
thank you.
it makes sense. Okay, now just give me 1 minute. I'll just note down these emails. Okay, noted. Now, now pay attention carefully. Tomorrow we are going to work on cloud computing, right? And we are going to utilize. Okay, Rambabu sir. Let me note that you marked your attendance. Okay. So we are going to learn cloud computing tomorrow, right? And for that, for hands-on purpose, okay, Rakesh sir. Uh, for hands-on purpose, we are going to use Microsoft Azure, right? Which is a cloud provider, right? And this product Azure is by Microsoft, right? And our program is also sponsored by Microsoft, right? We are going to use their products, their product of Azure, right? So for that, to create your Azure account, we need Outlook emails, right? To work, to work on Azure, to create your Azure account, we are going to create Azure accounts for you. But for that, we need your Outlook email, right? So what I'm expecting from you is you can create your Outlook account. Outlook is just another email provider, but which is by Microsoft, right? Just like Gmail, this is also email provider, but this is by Microsoft. So what you can do, you can just sign up for Outlook right? And you can create your Outlook email, just how we create our Gmail account, right? So this is how we'll create our Outlook account, right? For example, jabani@outlook.com, right? This is how we will create one email, and that email you are going to share with me. Once I receive all your emails with Outlook account, right? Outlook emails, then I will share one invite on that particular email. On that particular inbox, you will receive one invite from me, right? And once you accept the invite, then I'm going to give you the account access, subscription access. We already purchased, we already have subscription, right? Because so many services are paid, right? But we require those services for practice, of course, right? So what we did, we have that subscription, and that subscription I'm going to assign with all of you. We can also create the free tier account and all, but there are some paid services, and for that we will give you this subscription. That is why we want your Outlook account, so that we can create your account and we can assign you this subscription. Got the idea? So what you need to do, I repeat again, I will share one link with you, Google Form link, where you will write your Outlook email. First, of course, you will create your Outlook email, Outlook account, and that Outlook email you are going to share with me, right? Once I receive your Outlook email, I will share one invite on your Outlook inbox. And once you receive, you can accept that invite. Once you accept, then I am able to assign you the subscription, right? And yes, this activity is completely optional, right? Even if you, this is for those who want to do practice with me. This for those who want to do hands-on with me. Right? If you don't want to do hands-on, no need to provide Outlook email. And this is not going to affect your certification. It has no impact on your certification. Right? This is just for practice, for those who want to do practice with me. Understood? Instructions are clear. Should I share the Google form now? Yes. After this session, you can create your Outlook account and you can share. Okay. So
Excuse me,
I am
sir.
expecting that by 7 p.m. You are going to fill that form, right? Because I need to share invite also with you. Yes, yes. For attendance part, I'm coming on that part. Just give me 1 second.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, Sumedha.
Um, our college is having matlab, Outlook account only, MIT.Asia. So will it work for Azure?
Yes, yes, definitely it will work. If you have already one
Yeah,
Outlook account,
yeah.
that is going to work just fine.
Okay, I already have it then.
Yes, yes, then you can directly share it. No need to create new one.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, fine. So please do it before 7 p.m. It will just take 2 minutes to create Outlook account, right? So do it by 7 p.m. so that I can share the invite with you, right? And once you receive invite, I think you will receive invite by evening or maybe tomorrow morning, right? Before the session. So that is fine. Whenever you get invite, I'll also inform you that invites has been sent. You can accept that, right? Before session, anytime you can accept. Okay, but make sure you accept before 9 a.m. Okay, let me fix the timeline. What I will do, from 7 p.m. I will start sending you the invite. Okay, so by 8 p.m. you all will receive the invite. Okay, by 8 you all will receive the invite, and you can accept the invite before tomorrow 9 a.m. Okay, 1 hour before our FTP. Clear these instructions? No, Kiran ma'am, I'm sharing it right away in the chat. But first, I want to explain these instructions. Clear? Let me also share the timeline with you. By 7 p.m., fill out the form. By 8 p.m., you will receive invite. right? Accept the invite before 9 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. Okay, now I'm sharing that Google Form link. And then I'll see the attendance part. Some of you are mentioning they mark their attendance. Copy and paste. Yes, I shared this link with you, right? You can please save it somewhere so that after session also you can access this, because after session you are going to create your Outlook account, right? So please save this link somewhere. And Jamila, ma'am or sir, attendance done. Okay. So you provided your email ID for attendance not marked. Okay, okay. Let me remove your email ID. Done by mobile device. So let's do one thing. You guys can able to access the attendance link with mobile device. So those who provided me the email ID, can you all try using mobile device once? I can wait for 1 minute. No worries. Please try using mobile device and still not working. Ideally, it should not happen. I don't know why this thing is happening, but still, if this way it is working, let's get the work done. So now let me know if through phone also you are not able to mark your attendance. Then only write your email. Those who already give their email, please write it again if you are not able to mark your attendance via mobile device. Okay. Should I share the attendance link again? I think Madhya shared it. Yes, this is the link that Madhvi ma'am shared. Okay, okay. So should I consider that all of you have marked their attendance, even those who provided their email IDs? I removed all those email IDs now. That's why. Link is not opening. Okay, let me note your email ID. Please write your emails, those who cannot access the attendance. I'll mark your attendance from our end. Okay, rest everyone has marked. Okay, cool then. So it's already 3. So let me quickly show you how you can write JavaScript inside JSX. Okay, and rest everything will cover tomorrow. I wanted to cover a lot more things today, but no worries. Not opening. Okay, okay. I'll note down your names. Just a moment. Okay, okay, Madhvi ma'am. Fine. So I noted down your emails, and now let me quickly show you how you can write JSX. JavaScript with JSX. So where were we? Yes, here. See, this is our JSX, right? Good afternoon. But let's say along with good afternoon, you want to write some paragraph, and in this paragraph you want to write 5 plus 3. Now it is giving error. Why error? Because I'm returning 2 elements. Is it possible to return 2 elements? No. What you need to do? You can use React fragment. Right? And now let's see the output of this. And we are getting 5 plus 3. But it is what we want? No, I want 8 here. That means I want to execute this JavaScript 5 plus 3. Right? Now, to execute JavaScript expression inside JSX element, you need to enter into JavaScript mode. And how you can enter into JavaScript mode? Using curly braces. So in this paragraph, I can write curly braces. And here I can write JavaScript. For example, I write 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3. And now it should give 8. the expression should be evaluated, and it is evaluated. So you can write JavaScript like this inside JSX. Is it clear? You can also write variables here. For example, this function. This is just a function, right? It can contain everything that JavaScript function can contain, variables and everything, right? So let's say I have one variable, for example, a name. And in this name, I'm storing Jai Abani like this, right? Now in this expression, let me write another paragraph. And this time, let me print name. So I can write variable also here. Right? So any JavaScript expression I can write. See, now I'm getting Jayabani. If I don't write this parenthesis, these curly braces, then I'm getting name here. Right? So you got the point. How you can write JavaScript expression inside React. Clear? Any doubts? Now it's your time to ask questions if you have any.
So suppose
Yeah,
we
sure,
want to
sure.
connect to database, what to do?
Sorry, ma'am, please come again.
We want to connect to database.
Yes, it depends on the database, which database you want to connect with, right? For example, with React, we generally go with, sorry, I'm getting one call. Yeah. So yes,
Yeah.
with React, we generally go with MongoDB, but again, it depends on use cases, of course. But let's say you want to connect MongoDB with this, right? So what you can do, you can use Mongoose library. Mongoose library provides you the functions that you can directly call, and you can directly, give details about your database, right? For example, the URL of your server and your username, password, your database, everything you can provide. So for MongoDB, you can use Mongoose library, right? That's why generally we use Mongoose only, Monstack, right? It is more preferred way, which is more compatible. But again, it depends on which database you want to connect with. React does not require server-side script. That is not, it just needs database support. That is not the case. Kiran, ma'am, that is not the case. The server-side scripting is different, right? Tomorrow, it will make more sense when I will explain you client-side rendering and server-side rendering, right? So earlier, what was happening, more and more things we were doing using server side, right? More and more business logic we used to write on the server. But right now we can do so many things on the client side only, on the front end side only, right? If you observe, you can see there are more jobs available for front end. Front end is in more demand. If you consider these days, front end is in more demand. There are more job opportunities in front end area. Why? Because nowadays so many things that we must used to do on server side, now we can do it on the client side. That is why it is in more demand. So that is a complete different thing that I will explain you tomorrow, that how you can render website server side, how you can render website with client side, that I will explain you. I wanted to explain it in today's session, but let's discuss that tomorrow. Okay, clear, Kiran ma'am? Do you have any advice to students entering into full stack? Yes, we can guide students like if they are interested for full stack. See, I will not suggest them to master both front end and back end. Yes, full stack means you should know both the things, front end as well as back end, right? But I will not suggest that. See, what we should do instead, we can master either of the two, right? For example, my interest is front end or I want to learn front end. So I should have 80% expertise in front end and only 20%, 20 to 30% in back end. That is also called as full stack developer. No company will say that 50% you should know this and 50% you should know this. Instead, they will also prefer the candidate who has 70, 80% in any one of the area, right? Either 80% in backend, 20% front end, or 80% front end, 20, 30% backend. That is the ideal way to learn full stack web development, right? You cannot learn, both 100% initially. So it is next to impossible, right? That you can master 100% front end and 100% back end. And I don't think there are developers who have 100% skill set in both the areas, right? So that is not the whole point of learning full stack development. You master one and you know little bit of others. Little bit means a bit more, right? 20-30%.